Salesforce has its own parallel data tracking, very similar to Adobe Analytics. Are you guys also updating and upgrading what you expect this Cyber Monday based on the strength of Black Friday?
Yeah, that's right, Ed. We at Salesforce aggregate signals from billions and billions of shoppers across our platform. So it gives us a bird's eye view of what's happening in the industry. And we're feeling really positive. We saw great results in Black Friday, up 9% in the US, totaling $16.4 billion. And that's really rivaling Cyber Monday as the two biggest digital days. So yeah, we're expecting strong single-digit growth. And it's really correlated to discounts. Consumers are seeking value. They're being diligent. And with the increase of discount rates, we're seeing the digital volume soar.
That's really interesting, isn't it, Rob? Because, I mean, you're a man with, what, 25 years, not to date you, but about 25 years in experience across retail in all of its guises. And many would be like, oh, yay, numbers are up. But in the last few years, maybe it's felt more the inflation number has been why we've seen numbers up. But now you're saying it's actually volume too.
Yeah, that's a really good distinction because we saw this soaring happening in the digital surge around the pandemic. Why? We couldn't go in the physical store. So that created a whole new baseline. So the last 8 quarters or so, much of the growth was from inflation, not increased consumer demand. And that's what we saw going into the holiday. But now we're actually seeing increased orders. We're seeing increased consumers' demand. Now, they are seeking discounts, but they're buying more finally.
And is that sustainable? We know that this is almost seasonal. We have this bulk buying that happens in this weekend, then it all cools off for about 10 days, and then suddenly everyone gets their act together just before the next round of holidays. Is that sort of consumer resilience worldwide going to be something we see in the next bout of shopping?
Yeah, I've been talking to hundreds of retail executives worldwide for the last couple months leading into the holiday. Nobody had an overly bullish forecast for this holiday. They were hoping to get out of it, create a nice foundation with their inventory levels, with their margin, but what we're seeing, what we're hearing is a sense of growth. Retail executives are really positive. They're feeling good about the resiliency of the consumers. Now, it will shift by verticals. There are some stronger ones than others, but they're feeling good about it. They're really leaning into the data they understand about their consumers, leveraging AI to build those personal relationships with those consumers because it is about retention at this point. It's about increasing margin, and they're feeling like, especially with the surprising results in Black Friday and what we're expecting during Cyber Monday, coming out of the year and feeling really good looking into the next fiscal year.
The consumer electronics market is really interesting here because you guys are talking about really big numbers on the overall spend. And electronics have been really popular, but electronics have also been some of the most heavily discounted. You know, just explain that, the causal link between the discount and then the pocket buying of those electronic items like TVs and consoles, for example.
Yeah, there is a direct correlation between discounts and buying. There's been a lot of narrative about pulling the holiday earlier in the season, but the reality is it really kicked in during Cyber Week where retailers stepped up. And what happens each year, Ed, is this idea of the game of discount chicken. And consumers always win. The only year they didn't was in 2021, where we had a shortage of products. Remember, the containers were stuck in the Port of LA, couldn't get into the domestic supply chain, so retailers didn't have to discount. But they do again, and they've stepped up. We're seeing discount levels on average at 30% across the board. Consumer electronics are slightly higher as they normally are, but we're also seeing it in health and beauty. We're seeing it in active apparel. We're seeing it in also footwear. Footwear seems to be a big category, both for discounts and for purchases online this holiday season.